Welcome to this small video on my cognitive biases or cognitive bias series in the marketing models. In this small video, I'll be talking about the availability bias or availability heuristics. It's one of the biases which are not that often spoken about in general public, but it's one of the ones which are most common. It's one of the categories of biases. So if you see the colors on the side here, you'll see that it covers several biases. In general, the availability bias talks about the availability in your head. So what is available there? Colors, whatever you mean, what you decide. And that's why it's availability heuristics. So it colors, so it takes the heuristics from it. Think of the example of multiplying 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5. Ooh, that's a big number, right? Well, do the same number category and twist it around and say 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7 times 8 times 9. All right, what happens? Well, what happens is that you would usually, and caution you a little bit, usually you will come up with a larger number estimate guess from the first number line than the second number line. It's because when you start, you can only have so much information available. At some point, you get lost. So you take the information you have available and use that. In the same way, the information you got last, the information that you saw, perceived, gave your attention to, is the one you put the most weight on. What does this happen? There are different competing ideas or theories. One is that you start somewhere and then adjust. Think about the number. It's also that the first thing that you can encounter fits the best and is considered the best by your head because you have a limited bandwidth to work with. Or lastly, it's hard to change attitudes, and whichever is the correct way of thinking about it, well, scholars still disagree, but what we could do to counter it is more interesting. Well, being calm, one thing, relax, take it, and objectively look at it. Experience is also one of the classic ones. Do you know a lot about the field? Well, then you're not necessarily swayed about the last information that's available. And then if you're have a personality which is set or moldable or adaptable, well, then you're more likely to be influenced by the latest information. In terms of marketing, it also counters or enhances the idea of branding. By having information continuously shown in the media about your product or your brand will enhance the availability bias. So they will be more likely to buy your product because they have more likely seen it recently. In the sales, remember the follow-up. So you provide some information to a customer or a potential customer and you follow up rather quickly on it because then you're top of mind. So one of the classic information or traits in sales is top of mind idea. That's your availability heuristics. All right, that was a small introduction to the availability bias or availability heuristics. Thank you for listening in. See you later.